Well, they took their time with it, but Harley Benton's aged series of Relic guitars and basses is finally here. And what I want to do in this video is take you through every aspect of my favourite guitar from the new lineup. That's this one, the Lake Placid Blue TE-62LA. Now, all of the guitars and basses in the series will set you back €249. There's different finishes and different models available, and you can get them all like this in a light aged finish or in a more heavy Relic heavy aged finish. Now, in this video, I'm going to start by telling you about the specs and the features, and I'll tell you the story of the aged series. Then I'll play this guitar for you in as many different musical styles as I can possibly manage today. And afterwards, I'll give you my own thoughts and opinions about this specific guitar. I've had it about a week now. I've played it a lot since then, and there's quite a lot to say about it, as you can imagine. Timestamps to each different part of the video are going to be down there in the description and comments if you'd like to go somewhere specific first. But let's kick things off now with the specs, the info, everything you need to know about this guitar. And like I said at the very start of the video, Harley Benton have really taken their time with the Age series to get it exactly the way they want it. In fact, they first teased these guitars almost 2 years ago, back in September 2024 at the Guitar Summit in Mannheim, Germany. And back then I did an interview video with Bene, I'll link it there so you can watch that one back if you want to, where he talked about the challenges of making a kind of design range like this at the Harley Benton price point. And back then they were even talking about putting nitro finishes on these guitars. And that's the first big thing to mention, I think, just in case you were wondering. We don't have nitro finishes on these guitars. They're poly finishes. However, Harley Benton assure us that they've spent a lot of time getting these poly Relic finishes as good as you can possibly get it. And I'll give you my opinions on what I think about that in the opinions part once the playing is done in this video. But we've got 3 different guitar models in the Age series: the TE-62, which is their Telecaster type, the SC-62, which is their Fender Stratocaster type, and their JA-60, which is their offset Jazzmaster type of guitar. If you're a bass player, you're going to get jazz and precision bass sorts of models, and there are a number of different finishes available. Like I said, you can get each guitar and each bass in light or heavy aged finishes. For me personally, I went for light aged because I think Relics are divisive anyway, and the heavier the Relic goes, the less realistic it looks. And I have to say that on first look, I'm really rather impressed with the Relic job. It looks decent enough, it's not too heavy-handed, and it feels decent as well, which is more than can be said about many other affordable Relic guitars. And I think for you folks just looking on camera, well, it'll look really rather authentic. And that's going to be the same thing if you buy this guitar and you're playing it to a crowd who are 6 feet away from you on stage. It's going to look authentic to them. Okay, if you eyeball it from up close, well, you can see that this is artificial aging, but that's not really the point. But anyway, enough about the divisive Relicing for now. What else do you get for your money? Well, again, €249 here, and this being Harley Benton, you get quite a lot for those €249. So with this guitar, we've got an American alder body, and the neck is caramelized or roasted maple, as is the fingerboard. Now we've got this lovely matte Relic Lake Placid Blue finish here in the light aged version. You can also get the TE-62 in a beautiful shade of seafoam green, which really tempted me as well. But in the end, I went for the Lake Placid Blue because that is my favorite finish on a guitar. On the front of the body, we've got a selection of nicely aged hardware, particularly the scratch plate. Looks like it's had a very rock and roll life. It's so yellow it looks like I've probably smoked 50 cigarettes a day over it for the past 40 years or so. I don't smoke, by the way, so that was not me. It came like this. Then we've got a set of single coil Telecaster-esque pickups with a 3-way selector switch, and the pickups are Isola or Isola, which is a newish brand under the Thomann Harley Benton umbrella. We've got a master volume and a master tone control on the standard Telecaster type control plate here, and we've got a vintage Telecaster style 3 brass saddle ashtray bridge going on here. That's been tastefully aged, as has the control plate and the neck pickup cover. The only thing on the front of the body I've just noticed that hasn't been aged is the bridge pickup cover here, and that's plastic, so that's maybe why they didn't do that. But you're never going to notice that again when you're 6 feet away from the guitar. Otherwise, on the front, you've got these nice little bits of the light aging, primarily around the edges of the body. And if I move us around to the back, you can see that we've got some belt buckle rash going on here, string through body operation, and up where the bolt-on neck meets the body, we've got an aged Harley Benton neck plate going on too. Now the neck on the TE-62LA is caramelized or roasted maple, as is the fingerboard. And if I move us around to the back of the neck, you can see that this has been very nicely aged as well. Of course, being aged, it's very slinky and satin feeling, very easy to get up and down. Now the neck profile on this guitar is a standard C shape. I would call it a modern C. It's not too thin, not too fat. I think it's going to be comfortable for pretty much everybody. Now we've got 21 medium jumbo standard nickel frets on the neck of this guitar. The nut width is 42 millimeters. It's a graphite nut. We've got a standard Telecaster approved 25.5 inch 648 millimeter scale length, and the fingerboard radius here is a rather flat 305 millimeters, or about 12 inches. And moving up to the headstock there, you can see that Relic Harley Benton roasted maple headstock and 6-in-line, again aged Relic tuners going on there as well. So this is the TE-62LA, and what we're going to do now is make some noise with this thing. Hopefully for 249 euros, what we've got here is a great sounding Telecaster type of guitar, and I'm really looking forward to testing out a set of these Isola or Isola pickups for the first time. So that's what we're going to do right now. My rig for today is going to be my Hughes & Kettner Black Spirit 200 amp head, along with a selection of my favorite pedals to spice things up tonally along the way. We'll start with some pristine clean tones, get some strummed chords on, maybe some Telecaster country twang, that kind of thing, and we'll gradually add in some dirt, courtesy of my Greer Lightspeed, my Crazy Tube Circuits heat seeker, the crunch channel on the amp, my JHS Bender tone bender fuzz, and maybe I'll sneak in the JHS Double Dragon analog octave pedal as well for a couple of garage rock riffs there. And finally, we'll be down in drop D doing some proper metal chugging stuff with the Rev G3 high gain distortion pedal, because why not? Telecaster style guitars are some of the most versatile out there, and I'm hoping that the TE-62LA can deliver on that front. And finally, by the way, one more important note: this is a totally unsponsored video because I went out and bought this guitar myself because I wanted it. So all of the opinions here are 100% my own. Anyway, enough talk. Let's play the TE-62LA now, and I'll give you my full and thorough opinions about this guitar afterwards. Okay then, so that was the Harley Benton Aged Series TE-62LA, and I hope you enjoyed the playing, the riffs and the tones. But now it's your turn. Please leave me a comment down there telling me what you think of this guitar. And I guess the main thing to discuss here is, are you pro or are you anti when it comes to relics? I know they're very divisive. Let me know your thoughts about this guitar in the comments and let's get a bit of a discussion going, as we always do. But now it's time for me to tell you my thoughts and opinions about this guitar. And like I said in the intro, this series is 2 years in the making. I saw the original prototypes in September 2024 and these guitars have been on my mind ever since. And based on the comments of my YouTube video and the other videos that I saw, well, these guitars have been on a lot of your minds since then, so I think these are going to be big sellers. And I actually went out and ordered this guitar straight away with my own money as soon as they were released because I really wanted to have this exact one. And when it arrived, my first impressions, well, what a beautiful guitar this is. I love a Lake Placid blue Tele. I'd rather have a rosewood board than a roasted maple one, but this is a wonderful looking guitar to behold. And the main thing that I looked at when I was getting it straight out of the bag was, how good does that Relic job look? And I'm really happy to say that I think this is probably the best Relic job that I've seen on a sub $1,000 or Euro guitar pretty much ever. And the reason for that is that Harley Benton haven't lacquered over the relicking work after they've done it. Now I've only seen this one, so this is the only one that I can go with, and all of the guitars are different because they're relicked by hand, but I think that this is a very convincing Relic job. Of course it's not the real thing, and of course if you've relicked a guitar yourself over years of playing, you'll see that it's not quite the same thing. But in terms of the price that you're paying here, I think this is really, really decent. The thing that sells me on it is the fact that you can feel the bare wood underneath and you can feel where the poly lacquer starts, so it just feels like a real sort of ding that's happened to the guitar. And I am really glad that I picked the light aged version over the heavy aged one, because I think a heavy Relic never looks realistic at all, unless you're Rory Gallagher of course. But very happy with the Relic job, at least in terms of my first impression. And when I picked up the guitar for the first time, well, I was really, really happy with the weight of this one as well. This specific guitar weighs in at 3.13 kilograms. That's about £6.14, so under £7, which is a wonderful weight to behold. Now for me personally, I like a guitar to be under £8. I don't like heavy guitars, and this one being about 7 or just under 7, well, that is a major win in my book. So great first impressions, and then I started to look at the build quality and the hardware on this guitar. And well, this is the typical Harley Benton story these days. For this price, I don't think you're going to get any better. Now just a word about the rest of the relicking. I really like the way they've done the rest of the hardware, the tuner and the bridge and the control plate and so on. It's not mega rusty or anything like that, like I've seen on other relics. It's not too heavy-handed, so it's a very tasteful relic in that sense. The only place where I think they've gone a little bit hard is with the first 2 frets on the neck here. Kind of looks like I've just been playing a D chord for the past 20 years, which I kind of have if you've ever listened to me play. But anyway, a tiny bit heavy-handed there, but the rest of it is very decent. And I really like the relicking job on the back of the neck. It's not realistic again if you look really closely, but it has a really nice slinky played-in feel, and that's a really nice thing to have. Now the rest of the hardware does its job very well indeed. The tuners are great, the neck setup straight out of the box is decent, the frets are nice and smooth, no rough ends or anything like that, and we've got a nice action and intonation going on here. The guitar was exceptionally playable straight out of the box. We've got this lovely 3 brass saddle vintage ashtray bridge going on here, does its job no problem at all. The rest of the electronics totally fine. So in terms of the build quality and the hardware and that Relic job, well, full marks for me from this guitar as well. Then we come to the playability, and well, this guitar plays like a really decent Tele, and I'm a Tele fanatic, and I'm very, very pleased with this one in that sense. Now in terms of the neck, you've got this lovely aged C-shaped profile neck going on. It's very, very comfy indeed, and that's one advantage that you can get from a Relic guitar. If it's been done well, the guitar can feel like it's been played in for years before you got your hands on it, and that's the case with this one. It just feels like an extension of my body straight away. It's a very comfortable neck to play. The body is your standard slab of wood that you could expect from a Telecaster. Simple, no fuss, does the job. And for me, well, very ergonomic indeed. You've got a nice light weight going on here. The matte finish I find even more comfortable than a high gloss finish. And I really appreciate the comfort of this 3 brass saddle ashtray style bridge. I've got those on all of my favorite Telecaster type guitars, and they just work for me. So in terms of playability, very, very impressed with this guitar. And again, because it's so lightweight, no problems at all if I want to take this on stage and stand with it for hours and hours playing away. And the other crucial thing to talk about, of course, is the sounds. Does the TE-62LA sound anything like a decent Telecaster, or is it simply a pale imitation thereof? Well, leave me your thoughts about what you think of the tonal performance of this guitar, but for me, I plugged in, strummed a few chords, and straight away I knew that we've got a great Tele on our hands. However, I want to temper that slightly and say that I think the bridge pickup on this guitar is amazing, sounds absolutely fantastic. Both pickups together, wonderful as well, but the neck pickup on its own is not quite as high a performer, at least to my ears, at least to my tastes. It just has a slight propensity to be a little bit dark, a little bit woolly, a little bit lacking in crispness and clarity in terms of the tones that I would personally like. However, it's a decent pickup nonetheless. It just doesn't quite live up to the greatness of the bridge pickup, and you heard that straight away, or at least I did, with the clean tones. Now the bridge gave us some great country twang sounds, we got some lovely in-between tones, great for strum chords, great for funky stuff, great for arpeggios and indie and folk stuff, but the neck pickup on its own, while it's great for strumming, just lacks a bit of vivaciousness and a bit of liveliness compared to the bridge pickup. Now I love a Telecaster with a bit of dirt for indie and alt rock goodness, and this guitar is wonderful for that. When I kicked in the Greer Lightspeed or the crunch channel of my amp, well, it just worked perfectly for those sorts of styles. Now a Telecaster can be very aggressive and it can be quite ice picky. This guitar is not a problem there, although of course you can use the tone control to wind it back if it gets to be a bit too much. But on all of the different pickup selection options, well, the Greer Lightspeed paired beautifully with the pickups here to give us a wide range of alternative and indie rock tones. And using the crunch channel for some thick mid-pushed AC/DC, Airbourne and Hendrix type of riffs, well, this guitar is very decent for that as well. Later on I kicked in the Crazy Tube Circuit's Heat Seeker for some hard rock stuff, and the guitar excels at that too. Bundles of crispness and clarity for anything like that. Doing pop punk and punk rock, it's very, very tight for fast power chords, palm muted and so on and so on. And when I kicked in the JHS Bender and occasionally the JHS Double Dragon analog octave pedal, well, we got some amazing fuzzy goodness and some great octave garage rock riffs going on as well. What a wonderful guitar this is in combination with a great tone bender pedal like the JHS Bender. And finally, we went down to drop D, we kicked in the Rev G3, and this guitar does metal, as I know that any decent Telecaster can. Of course you're going to get extraneous noise from the single coil pickups here, but you're going to get oodles of crispness. You're going to hear every one of the 6 strings when you hit big distorted chords, and it's going to chug very, very tightly as well. So this is actually a great sounding guitar. Now for me personally, I don't spend that much time on the neck pickup, especially with a Tele style guitar, and with my own #1 Fender Telecaster, well, I actually got rid of the neck single coil pickup and replaced that with a wide range humbucker because it just didn't work for me. And that might be what I'll look to do with this guitar at some point in the future, but overall for this price, well, you absolutely can't complain in the tonal stakes. But if you've been watching this video and you like what you've seen here, but you're wondering what else could be out there in a similar sort of vein, well, check out the rest of the Age series by Harley Benton. You can get the TE-62 Tele style, the ST-62 Strat style, and the JA-60 Jazzmaster or offset style as well. And if you like your double relic finishes, well, the JA-60 happens to have candy apple red over sunburst available. That is a wonderful looking guitar, and that might be the next one that I get from this series. And by the way, if you want a jazz bass, you can get that with Lake Placid Blue over sunburst as well. And those double finishes are the same price as this one, 250 bucks. So very, very affordable indeed. Otherwise, if you're looking for more affordable takes on relic sorts of guitars, there's not that much out there. And if you want something as convincing as this, there's definitely not that much out there. Now, the other range that I would really recommend would be the Vintage Icon series. Those are going to be a bit more expensive than this one, but the V52 Nashville style Telecaster, the butterscotch blonde Tele with the maple fingerboard, is a fantastic guitar. I can't rate that one highly enough. And if you've got a bit more money, well, there is the fantastic Henry's range of T-style and Strat style guitars for about $600-700 bucks as well. I've done plenty of videos on those guitars here on the channel, and those are going to be wonderful options as well. If you want to spend even more money on relic guitars, you're going to be into Fender territory. One great Fender relic that I've tried is the Jason Isbell Signature Telecaster. That's a lovely model of guitar. However, you could buy 6 or 7 of these Harley Bentons for the same price. Is the Fender going to be worth it? Well, you be the judge of that one. Now, if you don't want to do relics, you could do far worse than trying out the rest of the Harley Benton range. They have a bunch of T-style guitars out there. The standard is the TE-62cc. That's a non-relic take on the Telecaster Telecaster. I actually bought that guitar for myself a few years ago as well. It's a great take on the Telecaster for 150 bucks, and I will be shooting out these two guitars at some point in future. So if you want to see that video, well, make sure that you're subbed to my channel so you don't miss that one. Otherwise, they've got great takes on Fender thin lines, they've got Teles with Bigsby's, they've got many other different options. So check out the links in the description, and you never know, you might find something that works for you. At the end of the day though, I waited 2 years to get my hands on this guitar, and I'm very, very glad that I did so. I think for 249 euros in terms of Relic guitars, this is pretty much an unbeatable offer. Of course, if you don't like your Relics, you can look elsewhere. The Age series is not for you. But if you dig the Relic thing, well, you've got many different options here, different models, different finishes, and you can choose between the light and the heavy aged versions as well. Now for me personally, I'm very happy that I started with a light aged one, but I could actually see myself graduating and trying out a heavy aged one at some point in the future. I am curious to see how decent those ones look in the flesh. But looking past the relicing, looking at the bass guitar underneath, what we've got here for 249 euros is simply a fantastic affordable take on the Telecaster. You've got the older body here, the roasted maple neck and board. The neck plays so beautifully, it's so satin smooth and slinky. It's a really nice profile, very, very comfortable indeed, so no problems there whatsoever. I really dig the tones from this guitar as well. Okay, the neck pickup is not the very best that I've heard, but I might swap that out at some point. I like the tastefully aged hardware that we've got here as well, and I love the fact that the hardware, the tuners, the nut, the bridge do their job and keep the guitar nice and stable and in tune at all times. So it plays really well, it sounds great, it looks fantastic, and it's wonderful value for money. And for that reason, well, I'm going to give this guitar 2 thumbs up, and it gets my highest recommendation. If you're thinking about buying one of these, go ahead and order one, and I think you'll love it just as much as I love this one. But anyway, I hope that this video has answered all of the questions that you may have had about the TE-62LA or the Harley Benton Age series. But if there's anything else you'd like to know, drop me a line down there in the comments and I shall do my best to answer you. And if you're still around, would really make my day if you wanted to give the video a like, or maybe even sub to my channel, because that really does help. And there probably will be more Harley Benton Age content coming at some point in the future too, so you can enjoy that. But that's been it for today's video. I've been Rich, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.